Locally owned and operated for over 50 years, Delaware Camera is your #1 spot for all your camera needs: education, accessories, printing, and more. Located at 2635 Delaware Avenue in Buffalo. Visit cameraspot.com.
Hey, true believers, this is Mark from Delaware Camera, and we're up here on our regular Tuesday Tech Talks. Welcome. If you like this, like, share, and subscribe. First thing I'd like to talk about, why are you looking at me like that?
Am I looking? I was going to say because you're dressed unprofessionally, but you said that right before the camera cut, but you're representing, so we're good.
Fair enough. I'm wearing my Snapcase hoodie because I saw a Snapcase this weekend. I'm a big Snapcase fan, but whatever, that's besides the point. So, just lost my train of thought.
So normally we talk about classes to begin with, right? You talk about
we're going to talk about that at the end when we get
We're going to bump that to the end. So we're going to talk about, we got a new product here. We're going to talk about lots of new products in the past week.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of exciting pre-orders that if you are looking for some of the new gear, you want to get on those lists.
I will talk about those. We have the A7R5 special order, which producer Will is getting, I believe. The XT5 is coming up.
Sony, Fuji.
The Canon R6 Mark II, which I'm going to pre-order, is coming soon. So if you guys want to order those items, give us a call. We'll put you on the list.
Olympus, or excuse me, not Olympus, OM Systems EM5.
There's a new Olympus?
Or the OM5.
Yeah.
There's a new, and again, not Olympus. This is one of the first, this is the second camera that does not have the Olympus branding.
Yeah.
It's good. We want, it's a company that we want to continue. It's a line of cameras. And so, yeah, so the OM5 is the sort of baby brother to the OM1. What else? The Nikon 600 millimeter.
Oh yeah, that's coming out soon.
Monster. That looks sweet.
Yeah, it's good for your sports, wildlife, all that jazz. Like that's the lens you want for your Z camera. So that's.
Yeah.
And we actually have a Z9 in stock if you're looking for that, and I think they're gonna become more plentiful soon. So.
Don't say that too loud. That's still.
What?
It's pre-orders. There's still dealers out there with pre-orders. We do have one on the shelf right now. That, yeah, jump on it if you.
If you're looking for that. So, ProMaster product every week. This is the ProMaster 24p video tripod. Should we open this or should we just leave it like shuttered?
Let's leave it shuttered. Let's talk about what it is, and we can bring it out later.
So if you're looking to do video, this is what you need. It's got the, what do you call it? Well, Steven, you know more about this. So it's got an adjustable spreader, leveling bowl. What do we got?
So this is a video tripod, as opposed to a photo tripod. So there's a couple differences. Let's start at the top. The primary difference on a video tripod is going to be the head that's included. Traditionally, you don't need a vertical tilt on a video head, and you also need smoother transitions and movements from one position to another. Whereas with a photo tripod, you line up, you position it, you take a picture, you move the tripod, you line up position. You don't need to worry about motion as much. So the head on this guy gives you a smooth vertical movement up and down, and some smooth panning as well. To come across back and forth.
Keep talking, Steven.
You've got a large handle that was probably in that bag over there. Keep talking. You've got a large handle that's going to give you more leverage so that you can make smaller movements. Right, nice, slow, small movements. So that's going to be in the head. There's going to be some resistance on that, and an adjustable dial that you can adjust the amount of resistance. Whereas on a traditional photo head, you're going to have a ball head where you open it up, go, or you're going to have a three-way head where you're making each movement independent. As you're picking this guy up, let's look at some of the other differences on the legs, or sticks as they would be called.
Yes, video sticks.
Right, in the video cine world, they would be sticks. So you've got the mid spreader. This allows you to very easily extend out one leg and bring it back to get a little bit wider base support. Also allows you, as you're adjusting the height, right, a traditional photo tripod, that spreader, you have the ability to change it, but you're going to be doing it up here at the column, and it's a little bit more more of a to-do to open it up, adjust, bring the leg out. Whereas, yeah, the center spreader, you can very easily drop it. Leveling ball, that's actually awesome to see in a tripod. That, do you know the cost offhand? I know that is not nearly as expensive.
I feel like it's less than 300. I know it's in that range.
Yeah, so having a leveling ball here. So again, now you have the ability to spread the legs. You have the ability to very quickly adjust the leg height. Everything is designed to drop out quick, so you're not slowed by anything. But even if you're on unlevel terrain and you can't get the legs to level, you can use that leveling ball to adjust out and get a level shot.
$250 it is.
$250.
$250.
Yeah. To have a leveling base is, I mean, that's a feature. The spreaders, everything about it. These are features that you generally wouldn't get. Wouldn't get on a tripod that is
this price,
this reasonably priced.
Yeah, and as with all ProMaster things, you have brands that are, more high profile and stuff. ProMasters are great. They're very reliable, and they have a ProMaster promise. So if you break this thing, you back it over your car with it, we'll replace it for you. Bring it back into the store. We'll give you another one right over the counter.
The ProMaster promise, 1 year unconditional guarantee.
Yeah.
So if for any reason in the first year of ownership there's a problem, you're not happy with it, bring it in and we'll swap it out. So,
whoa!
Yeah, Pro is definitely great in that area.
Whoops, lock that up.
Making sure that you've got support.
Yeah, but these are brand new. We just saw these at the show, and they just came out. We just got them in, so we're excited about these. Very, very cool tripods. So, let's get to classes. Let's talk about classes, Steven.
Yeah.
So, we do classes. We did classes for a long time in person. The pandemic hit. We did more classes. We did online classes and such. We did very big online classes where there was like 100 people. But now we're doing something different where we have a more intimate class with a more concentrated type of subject.
Yeah, so smaller classes, small class sizes, individual instruction, and a lot of opportunities for Q&A as you're going through learning about a specific topic. And so, so we've actually got the instructor, Joe, for these classes that I think we're segueing in to bring in on our guest.
Yeah, we have him live on here to talk about what he does and how his classes are awesome and all that good stuff. Is Joe there?
Joe is here. Hello.
There he is. I can't hear him? Okay. All right. So, is that... This is really interesting. So what? Okay.
So let's jump in and let's have Joe introduce himself and talk a little bit more about the classes and programs. I know we've got a class coming up tomorrow night.
It's a 101 flash photography.
So Joe, can you give us an introduction and tell us a little about Lighting 101?
Sure, I'd love to. So, hello, Internet. I'm Joe. I own a company called The F-Stops Here, and we do photo education, right? And been really thrilled to partner with Jackson, Delaware to bring topical classes to your students and your customers. So that's what I do. I've been doing it in some capacity around for longer than I care to admit. So we've got Lighting 101, which is Introduction to Flash, coming up on Wednesday. And then next week, I believe, is going to be night photography. So we're going to talk about low light exposure. We're going to talk about doing star trails. We're going to talk about Milky Way galaxy. We're going to talk about shooting fireworks. So a variety of things. So I'm really excited.
So we've had portrait and we've had landscape so far, correct? Yeah.
And so Joe, one of the things I really enjoy about your classes and your instruction is that it is it's sort of a next step class. It's not a basic, here's your camera, how to use it, which is traditionally the classes that we've always offered. And so you've got topical, diving down into a specific niche in different area, while still being able to do it at a basic level, but not the I don't know how to use my camera, but actually trying to get into a little bit further, using your camera with very specific intent.
Yeah, the idea is for those of us that are like steeped in the photography world, we approach a lot of stuff as technical tools, right? We approach saying, all right, I want to adjust my ISO here. I want to make a decision regarding aperture that's going to go to a certain point and not incur diffraction, or I'm going to think about the movement and it's relating to shutter speed and other aspects of the way we think about things technically. But what I've found is that people coming into the craft who are very results oriented, right? And that's our students, that's our customers, people who want to achieve the great shot of their kid playing volleyball, people who buy a camera and they want to do that great vacation photo at the beach. They approach it from literally the opposite direction, right? They approach it from the idea of, I want the result of the perfect sunset picture. I want the perfect portrait of my kid on his first day of school. And then they backtrack into technical. So we literally historically approach this backwards. And so my goal is to start at the topic and then move from there into how we achieve this. And that's why everything is very topical: landscape, portrait, macro photography, night photography. You're going to find a little bit of overlap, right? If you take several classes, because of course there's overlap. It's one craft, it's one camera. But being topical lets me get into things that we don't talk about in like a photo 101 class, right? I can delve more into color and landscape than I do in maybe portraiture, right? As an idea. So that's why they're very topical. Because I'm trying to solve that very immediate need that we have to get great photography and to get it pretty quickly, because it shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, so very much solutions oriented, right? You're right there. Yeah, I really appreciate that approach to photo education, where yeah, I've been involved in photo education in some degree for, I think we've discovered probably about as long as you. Maybe you might have a few years on me, but yeah, it's a really great approach, and we're excited to have you helping us out and helping our customers and our students out.
Definitely. So at the end of the classes, there's an opportunity to ask questions and such, so people can do that in the classes.
It's not just, and I'm glad you brought that up, Mark, because a lot of instruction happens in I've got all the answers. I've got this prepared remarks, and then we do Q&A as this thing for 5 minutes or whatever. That just kind of clarifies. I approach that differently. I really believe in student-driven education, right? The idea that I don't necessarily know coming into a class what is most relevant to you as my student. You've got a very specific set of needs and very specific shoots or very specific pieces of your technical puzzle that you want to put together. And so I actually like to give something between 20 and 30 minutes to Q&A. And I do it because I want to branch the conversation into directions that are relevant and personalized to the students. So it's student-led education. So I'm really glad that you brought that up, because it's an important part of the way that I structure things. And that does make every class a little bit individualized and different, which is kind of what you want, I would imagine.
Yeah, because there's some classes that we do that are like done by the manufacturers, and they give us like good information and stuff. But these are I think these are going to be much better because of the hands-on like help that people are getting. So that's why we're doing these, and that's why I think it's awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I absolutely love the idea of it being kind of a hand in glove thing with the manufacturer classes, because those are, in my experience, just universally fantastic, right? And very tailored to a specific piece of information. And then that kind of goes really well into a class that is very personalized to the student. So I think they meld together really well.
That's definitely very cool. So what do we have tomorrow again? It is
Lighting 101.
Yeah.
Introduction to Flash.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, especially this time of year when everything's getting darker quicker, you need to know how to use light to your advantage. So we're excited about that, having that tomorrow.
Yeah,
So,
that's that class is a particular favorite of mine.
Awesome.
My first specialty, I suppose you would say, 12, 13 years ago, was flash and studio lighting. And so getting people to be comfortable, I find that little flash is the thing that terrifies photographers more than any other piece of equipment. But it is such a jump in your creative potential when you get comfortable using it. So I'm excited to share some ideas about that with folks.
All right.
Yeah.
So if people want to sign up, go to our website, cameraspot.com. There's a button there for classes. You click on there, you sign up for the class, and then 6:30 tomorrow night.
Lighting 101, Wednesday night, 6:30 Eastern time.
And next week is night photography, so don't forget that as well.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you for coming on, Joe.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. You just cut him off.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So I've got my. We were talking about the Olympus. Did we cover all of the announcements of camera stuff? I think we did.
Sony, Fuji, Canon.
Mm-hmm.
Are you buying a Fuji? I mean, Will's buying a Sony. I'm buying a Canon. Are you buying a Fuji?
I'm buying a Nikon.
Fair enough.
Which is weird. Like, I shoot Fuji. So my next camera purchase, I think I'm going from the Nikon Z6 to the Z6 II.
Okay.
There's a few of the features about the Z6 II, the dual card slot, which really isn't important to me personally. I think many photographers, it's a critical component for, but for what I shoot and the way I shoot, it's not.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of the biggest things that I want is USB-C power.
So you can plug it in?
Plug it in.
Okay.
So I can plug it into charge now, but as soon as I try and connect the camera, it doesn't work, or try and turn the camera on. I want to be able to power the camera via USB while it's on.
Very cool.
So that's honestly the biggest reason for that camera upgrade.
Awesome.
But yeah, other cameras that I've been looking at, Olympus, the OM. I pulled this guy here, the OM5. Honestly, it does. There are things about that camera that do appeal to me.
Yeah.
I want to do a quick rant on. This is the Olympus OM10, soon to be OM Systems only. So the company is OM Systems. They have the Olympus branding. It's all come into the store. We'll have a big conversation about it. The positioning of this camera and who this camera is for. If you are somebody who likes photography, but in the last 10 years, maybe you found yourself using your Digital Rebel or your Nikon D5 5100, using it less and just using your cell phone, right? In the early 2000s, you jumped on the digital bandwagon and shot a lot, but photography can be a cumbersome hobby. Lots of lenses, lots of changes, lots of different things, where the cell phone really does become an easy solution if it is just a passive hobby. Now there is a category of camera where, we definitely accept that there are situations. That's a great. I have never done that, but that's pretty sweet. there are reasons to have a camera, right? We know the control factor, right? The ability to control our aperture ISO, having a physically larger sensor. So this is an Olympus. It has a micro Four Thirds sensor. So it's not a full frame sensor, but it's a compromise, definitely much bigger than you're going to get in the cell phone. So there are quality and aesthetic things that gives you. But it's in a compact little body where we still have the ability to interchange lenses.
Yeah.
We have the ability to shoot full 4K video in this. The screen flips down for a selfie.
Okay.
One of the other things about this is you can very easily use it as a webcam.
Oh, there you go.
Right, to be able to plug in. And saying this is a very expensive webcam, but it's not just a webcam, right? You're going to be using it as a camera in situations where you want to go out and take pictures, and you're specifically, you're traveling or a specific event where your cell phone just isn't the right device to be using.
Yeah.
And a little compact camera like this becomes a great tool that, that then also while you're home, you can impress people by actually having a really high quality call. As we sit here on our video cast using cameras as glorified webcams, right? We're doing a show, we're doing a production with traditionally photo equipment, and this is sort of that bridge of like, you can start, you get an inexpensive blogger kit. Yeah, we've got a couple prepackaged, comes with a little light stand to put onto your computer setup, and now you've got the ability to do some really high quality webcam work and live stream business work, being business people, doing business things. But then also a great little camera that you can throw into a bag, carry around when you want to be able to shoot. One of the things that I think about is when you take a picture with your cell phone, and you're an Apple person, so you may not have these anxieties. Where do those pictures go?
On the cloud.
They go to the cloud. They go to Apple Cloud.
Yeah.
Have you backed up to any other cloud services? Do you
Just
have any
Apple.
other? Just Apple.
Just Apple.
I've used a couple over the years.
Yeah.
So I use Adobe Lightroom. I use Lightroom Mobile, so my photos from my phone automatically go up to the cloud. I'm a big Dropbox fan, so I've got a bunch of different devices that back up to Dropbox. I don't always remember which devices all go to where, and
that's why I have one, Steven. You gotta be more. You gotta have one.
I'm different, and so I like the idea that I have the ability to take a picture that I am confident in my ability to make sure it never winds up on the cloud.
Okay, so that's why you would have
I would have a real camera that I can take the memory card out.
That's definitely
I can also connect
interesting.
it. I can connect it wirelessly to my phone and back it up, and I can do that stuff cool, right? I can take a picture of you, have the camera connect to my phone, pull it up, post that. I can also turn that off really easily.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
I have the ability to take a picture that I know where it's going to end up, and I can control that somewhat.
Okay.
I think that's a little bit the value of film currently, right? People using disposable cameras.
Although we do a pretty big business uploading people's pictures.
We do end up uploading them at the same time. But the idea that when you take a picture on your phone, it is in the cloud almost by nature.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Awesome.
So that's one of the places where I've been thinking about having a small, inexpensive. This guy's under $800 for a really nice little camera that interchangeable lenses, the micro Four Thirds system. You can adapt all kinds of different lenses onto. Right. If you got into photography 5, 10, 15 years ago, and maybe you saw mirrorless cameras that people are adapting lenses. You can adapt to that where you might not have been able to with a Rebel or a Nikon or
fair enough, Steven.
Like that. So
rant over.
We'll end that rant there.
I just want to thank producer Will for. I felt like I was like Mark Lamont Hill on CNN just now because of the two screens. It looked great. I thought that was awesome. It was great.
Let's keep driving production quality. Thank you.
It was pretty cool.
Thank you, producer Will.
It was great. Like that was that was real. But if you like this, like, share, subscribe. We're here every Tuesday at noon. Usually on Instagram as well, not today, but this is the top, like this is the good version of it. So Instagram is easy, but this is the best version of it. So like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. We got some cool stuff coming up. I believe we have an FX30 review next week that Dean just completed. So we're going to have that. So if you want to know about that camera, we're going to have that next week. So check it out.
Sweet little cameras that went from announcement to on the shelf
Like
really quick. That was, it was pretty awesome. So.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great week. December 3rd, event, Delaware Camera. Be here.
We'll talk about it more next week.
Locally owned and operated for over 50 years, Delaware Camera is your #1 spot for all your camera needs: education, accessories, printing, and more. Located at 2635 Delaware Avenue in Buffalo. Visit cameraspot.com.